Hey, what is up? Periscope world, Sean Terry here. How's it going? I'm going to try to prop this up. How's it going, crew? Got some killer training for you here today. Hopefully, actually, I know it will make you money. So I'm going to give you some good stuff that you can implement immediately that you can go out and make some money flipping houses. So before we get started, before we get started here, where are you guys chiming in from? I'd like to know where you guys are from. Vitali, what's up, Vitali? Atlanta, what's up, you daddy? Ohio, Venice, Florida, Houston, Orlando, San Diego. I love San Diego. We go to Mission Beach every summer and hang out in San Diego. And I do a gigantic crab fest where we had about 100 people. Charlotte, bringing team, but we had about 100 people, and I flew in. There's about 60 people, but I flew in 100 pounds of Dungeness crab. Like the red crab there, and you put it on the tables, you throw it out there, and you're just cracking it with a hammer and drinking some beers. Is pretty fun. So I saw Columbus, Ohio, saw Phoenix on there. Where else are you guys from? Anybody out of the United States that's here? Anyone? Bueller. Dallas, Texas. Dallas rocks. Dallas is a super hot market right now. So you must be kicking it out there. So cool. All right, so there are Vegas, baby. Love Vegas. Charlotte, North Carolina. So what I'm going to do is there's people that are Reno, Nevada. Reno rocks. NYC. Cool. Ohio, Cedar Point. What's up, brother? Yeah, my relatability, because I'm a dork, right? It's like just like everybody else's. Anyways, so the basically what I wanted to do is put something together for you, because essentially what people want to do in real estate is get started and go out and generate cash quickly. Right, within 30 days or less. And there's a perception out there that you can't do that, or it can't happen. And we do it. I do it in my business every single day. So the bottom line is that what we want to do, and I'm going to try to just focus on the training, and then I'm going to ask questions, or ask for questions and stuff. If you have any questions afterward, I can answer them. But the bottom line is essentially what we're talking about is generating fast cash in real estate for you. Generating fast cash in real estate. So, and what happens is there's a perception when people get started about real estate that you have to have a significant savings or cash in the bank, or you have to have stellar credit to make any money. That's what I thought when I first got started. I had a preconceived notion that you had to have, a huge bankroll, and you had to have a 750 to 800 credit score. And at the time when I first got started, I was dead broke. I was living month to month, and I had a 540 credit score. It sucked. The reason I had a bad credit score because I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, and I went overseas and went to war, and I racked up a bunch of bills prior to that, and I never got the mail, and I never even paid the bills, so my credit went to crap. So I found myself in a situation where I wanted to make money, and I attempted all these different things. I tried stock trading, where you get penny stocks. I don't know if you guys ever tried that. So you try to get penny stocks, and I'm going to go and I'm going to buy this stock at 0.00000 whatever, and hopefully it's going to go up, and it's going to skyrocket. We're going to make some money. I was kind of crossing my fingers, right? And then I said that didn't work, and I lost some money doing that. And then I said, okay, I'm going to try commodities trading. Holy cow! cow, the Y2K, this is before the whole 2000 era, the Y2K, and New York City was going to, go out in lights, the world was going to explode, and holy cow, if I buy gold options, and I bought like $1,200, and that was like all the money I had of gold options right before the Y2K, and the holy cow, gold's going to spike through the roof because it's going to freak out, oh my gosh, and I had all this, man, I was like excited, I was like, I'm getting rich. It's Y2K, now, and if it did crash in the Y2K, I wouldn't be able to spend it all because the world would have been up in a wreck anyways. It probably would have never got the cash. So, but what the bottom line is that I was looking, searching, trying to find something that could generate revenue. And I tried stock trading, I tried gold, I tried options trading, multi-level marketing where you recruit your friends who recruit their friends, and holy cow, and da-da-da, I tried that. To what else did I try? Hey, have you tried the ones where you put money into a letter, right? And then you turn around and you send it to 10 different people and you put $1 and then they send it to 10 different people and you make $1 million overnight? Yeah, that's how dumb I was, right? I actually attempted that with my fingers crossed because I was desperate. I was searching for something I could do to generate revenue. So the bottom line is that when I found real estate and when I found someone like me, when I'm talking to you, that you could go out and generate money, using real estate, I was skeptical. I was a natural skeptic. I was like, there's no way it can be done. I was like, it's just another scam. It's just like the stock trading. It's just like the commodities trading. I don't want to get all excited about doing this thing. And then all of a sudden, I'm going to be let down again on my friends, family, people that told me, holy cow, it was like, it sucked. So I had this I'm originally from New England, and so there was this skepticism. My dad was like, he's like a born skeptic, right? He would be the guy that, would pride himself on finding things wrong with everything else, right? Oh, that's not going to work. Da, 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 da. And I kind of took on that trait. I was a natural born skeptic. So, when I learned about real estate, and I actually learned it from, I was driving down the freeway on a Saturday afternoon. This guy was talking about how you could, how you could flip houses, and he had people on the radio show. They're saying testimonials of making $5,000, $10,000, even $20,000 flipping houses. I thought he was crazy. I was like, there is no way. And they're doing it in short periods of time. They're doing it in 10 days and 30 days and whatever. I was like, this is such a scam. And I actually turned the radio station back and I said, there's no way. It can't be done. It's impossible. It's another scam. But thank God, right? And thank God every day that he hit me up upside the head with a 2x4, and I had the intuition, the gut, and I was like, holy cow! And I turned the channel back and I continued to listen, what he had to say, and he talked about a concept of flipping houses, and some of you may follow me on the podcast, or maybe you've never even heard of me before, but that the concept was where you could contract a house with a motivated seller, okay? So you can find a motivated seller. Now, motivated sellers, there's a very small amount of people that will sell a $100,000 house for $50,000. You realize that, right? I know it, you know it, it's common sense. You can't go to the stock market and buy a $100 stock for $50. You can't do it unless there's some sort of insider trading that you don't know about or that you do know about, and that is illegal. In real estate, you can buy a $100,000 house for $50,000, right? Because sellers are in different situations. The majority of the public will sell their house for retail. They will. 95 to 97% of the people in the space will sell for retail. That's what they're going to do. And when they do sell for retail, they're going to list it with a real estate agent. So 95 to 97% will list with a real estate agent. So what does that mean for you and I? What is this concept really about? It's about targeting that 3 to 5%. That's it. we're going to target 3 to 5%. Who are those 3 to 5%? They're a landlord that that they've had a house for 25 years, and they had a tenant that trashed the place, and now they just want to get out because they don't want to put money into it, and they're sick of the property. That is part of the 3%. It could be an inherited situation where the parents own the house for years and years and they haven't done any updates for it. It was a 1970s house, and it has the same carpet and the same, cabinets and the same countertops, and it had the same roof that needs to be fixed. And now some kids inherit this property. They're now in their mid 40s and 50s. They don't want to fix the property. They don't want to have to get contractors. They don't want to have to go deal with all that. So what they do is they want to sell it quick so they can settle the estate. So they call guys like us or you, and you can turn around and they want to sell it quickly. That is part of the 3%. What about someone that's in foreclosure that's going to lose their house in a week or 10 days or 25 days or whatever? That is someone's a distressed seller. So here's the deal. There are certain parts of the market that are distressed sellers that we provide a service for. What about a hoarder house? We got properties that are under contract that are a hoarder house. You can't even walk around. I walked in this one house, and there was a tunnel through the living room, through the bedroom, through the kitchen, to even function, and the other stuff is like ceiling height high. I've never seen anything like it. And the place had a stench that was just ridiculous. Well, guess what? He's going to go to a realtor, and a realtor's going to say, you know what? You got to get this place cleaned up. We got to get this place cleaned up before I can even do anything about a listing. And that's what I would do if I was a realtor as well. I'd tell him, you got to get the place cleaned up. But guess what? What if a guy doesn't want to get the place cleaned up, and he just wants to sell it as is, and he wants to sell it quickly? That's who we provide the service for. So the bottom line is that this concept is about a very small niche. And what we do is we market for these distressed sellers. And what we can do is get them under contract. And a contract is a very important thing. It gives you controlling equitable interest in the property that allows you to then resell the paper, right? We're reselling the contract. We're reselling the property at a higher price. So here's how it works. If I turn around, I find a distressed seller that has a landlord that wants to get rid of the property, and I get the property under contract for $100,000. I can now turn around and market it. You can market it through Craigslist. You can market it through bandit signs. You can market it through other different means. We'll get into that. And you can market it to a buyer, a cash buyer, for a higher price. Let's call it $120,000. And what's going to happen is the buyer has the cash. They're going to wire in $120,000 to an escrow company, an attorney, a title company, and they're basically a company, title company, escrow company, and they're going to handle the money and they're going to handle all the documents. So they're going to wire funds in, $120,000, of which $100,000 goes to the seller. So is the seller excited? Yeah, the seller's ecstatic. He got $100,000. He didn't have to do a thing. He didn't have to pay real estate commissions, closing costs. He didn't have to fix anything on the property. He could sell it quick. He didn't have to wait to list it on the market, right? He got his money, the money that was promised to him, and he got it in a quick time frame. And what's going to happen in that situation right now, right, is that he gets $100,000. The buyer gets a house that's below market that he can either use as a rental or fix it and sell it, or live in it himself, whatever he's going to do. And the difference between the $100,000 that goes to the seller and the $120,000 he sold goes to you. $20,000, right? Now here's the ticket. Here's the exciting part, right? The $20,000 goes to you. What if you screw up and you call it $10,000? And what if you do one a month? One wholesale deal a month. That's $120,000. Do you realize that the average American population public, right, makes no more than $38,000 to $40,000 a year? $38,000 to $40,000 a year. You could learn this concept that I'm going to show you today, right? And you could really understand it. You could learn it. You could learn how to target distressed sellers. You could learn how to talk to them, get properties under contract, sell them quickly, do one deal a month, average $10,000, and you can make $120,000 in the next 12 months doing it. What if you screw up that? And what if you make 60, just half? Would $60,000 make a difference in your life? Of course it would. So the bottom line is, it's a concept in real estate, what's called wholesaling or flipping houses. Now, it's not fixing. We're not buying the house. We're not owning the house. We're not taking cash or credit. 99% of the deals that I tie up, I do with $10 earnest money. $10 earnest money. $10. That's it. So $10 earnest money, you can tie them up. Boom, you're done. Now you can turn around and resell the property. So what I'm going to show you today in the training specifically is about the first steps you can do to target those motivated sellers and be able to get a property under contract. I'm going to give you tools. I'm going to show you lists. I'm going to show you the phone systems we use. I'm going to give you the contracts we use. I'm going to give you the phone scripts we use for free. Okay? So if you're right now and you're maybe just chimed in, you're just listening to us, it's going to be exciting training. Now, here's the other thing. This is going to be a 4-part series. So today we're going to talk about, specifically, we're going to talk about the list to target, and I'm looking for a very small list. You know, there are multiple different companies I use in lists that are phenomenal, right? They're phenomenal. I'm just going to talk about one today that you can use, so you can get a very small list, but it'll be highly targeted. So I'm going to talk about the list. I'm going to talk about the phone company that we use to track calls. I'm going to talk about the contracts we use, what to say to a seller when a seller calls in. I'm going to show you our mailing system and a mailing system you can use, right? So we got a lot to cover today. And then that's going to be part 1. And then we're going to talk, on Monday, I might even do it tomorrow, on the next step. Phase 2 is actually getting the property under contract and then turn around and reselling it and then making a profit. So it's a 4-part series. Now, in this 4-part series, I want you to attend with me during this 4-part series. I'm going to pick one person that I'm going to give $1,000 cash to. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a FedEx. I'm going to get a cashier's check. And we even have T-shirts. I'm going to send you a T-shirt. I'm going to send it to you. And I'm going to give you $1,000 cash. So here's what has to happen for you to be eligible, right, to be able to enter to win the $1,000 cash. Okay, so I'm going to show this to you right now. This is the right here. You're grabbing that money? Grab that money. All right, so here I'm going to go down to here. I'm going to flip. Okay, so here are the $1,000 entry rules. Okay, $1,000 entry rules. First, you got to follow me on Periscope. Right, so if you're on your computer right now, then go to the App Store or Google Play, right? And you can download the app, right? You can download the app. Secondly, right, you have to share this broadcast. Share the broadcast. So what's going to happen is all you got to do is flip your screen, right, to the right. You know, you can slide it to the right, or on Android, you have to slide it up. And there's that little share button. Now share it to all your participants. Now I can see who's sharing it. I can see also who's following me. And then I want you to post on Twitter using hashtag Flip2Freedom. Flip the number 2 freedom. Flip2Freedom. I want you to post on Twitter using hashtag Flip2Freedom. So I'm going to look at all the people that post on Twitter. And I'm going to backtrack and make sure that they share the broadcast and then are following me on Periscope. And then that person, right, will go in a bucket that I'm going to pick a name out on the 4th broadcast. And I will give that person $1,000 cash, okay? Actually, it'll be a cashier's check because you can't send $1,000 cash in a FedEx. Unless you're in Phoenix, you can come to my office and pick it up. But the bottom line is $1,000. So you got to follow me on Periscope, share the broadcast. So how do you share the broadcast? You share the broadcast. If you swipe right now on your iPhone to the right, you'll see that little button. You can share it. You can share the broadcast right now. So you can share that broadcast. Or you swipe up on Android and you can share it that way. So share the broadcast and share it to all your followers, right? You can do that. So share the broadcast and then be hashtag Flip2Freedom. Now, if you are watching this, right, so you guys got that? So if you guys are watching this, now if you're watching this on a replay and you're on like iTunes or something like that, or if you're on YouTube and you're watching this like that, then obviously it's already passed. But if you go to flip2freedom.com, flip2freedom.com, all the links that we talk about, all the information we talk about will be in there for a replay, so you can have all the information that we're talking about in there. So that's how you win the $1,000 cash, and that's the entry rules. I hope you guys got that. If you have any questions. Yeah, link Twitter, you can so you want to link Twitter, you can have access there. So that's perfect. So yeah, so you guys share that. We all got that, and then all the people that share, make sure you post on Twitter with Flip2Freedom hashtag, because those are that we're going to pull first, and then we're going to do the cross reference on the share, and also the make sure you're following. So do that, and we'll get that, and that's how you win the $1,000. Okay. So you guys ready to get into it? You got your pens out. We're going to cover a ton of stuff right now and get into it. So when it comes to the concept, right, to taking this concept and targeting and finding motivated sellers, we're looking for that 3%, that 5% of the population that are not going to list with a realtor. I hear people that get started, they go, oh, I've sent out some mail and I've talked to 15 people and they all want to sell for retail. Of course they do. The majority of the people want to sell retail. It's about 1 in 25. One out of leads, one lead, right, out of 25 is going to sell, or is that part of that 3%. So what we want to try to do is be very focused and narrow on who we're going to target so we can increase our odds of talking to a motivated seller. Now, when we talk about distress, there's financial distress, right? It could be pre-foreclosure, tax default, whatever the case may be. They might be in a financial situation where they need cash. The property could be in physical distress. Now, if you've driven around a neighborhood and you see a house that's all boarded up, that's a physical distress property. Maybe the weeds are like real high. You've seen that right there. That's a physical distress property where they just don't care about the property. Or you see like it's all, the roof is all caving in. There's problems with it. That's a physical distress. That could be a sign where someone would want to be able to sell that property. So, and then there's what's called circumstantial distress. So there's three. There's financial, circumstantial, right, and physical. Circumstantial could be an inheritance, could be a divorce, could be an absentee owner where the tenant moves out and trashes a place. Circumstantial could be what else? It could be they're elderly and they're moving into a nursing home and now they want to sell their property and they need cash to be able to pay for the nursing home. That will be circumstantial distress, okay? So those are the three types of distress that we want to target as real estate wholesalers or guys who are going to be flipping houses using this concept, okay? So the first thing we want to do, right, is we want to basically pull a list of names of people, right? And people go, well, should I set up an LLC first in my company? Don't worry about an LLC right now. Eventually, you want to get an LLC set up, but get your first check first. We're talking about how to make $5,000 in 30 days or less right now from where you are, from where you stand, so you can go out and then be able to then spend the $250, $300 for an LLC if you want. So focus first. We're going to do very simple things to get the phone to ring with motivated sellers so you can talk to them. And listen, you'll know when you have a motivated seller. And here's the thing. You cannot screw up a deal with a motivated seller because the motivated seller is going to call you up and say, holy cow, I need to sell my house and I need to sell it quickly and I want to be done with this thing. And you're going to go, okay, right? And you're going to get that property at a discount. Now, in the next call, we're going to get into what to offer. We're going to talk about how to comp a property and figure out the value. I'm going to show you some websites and tools that we use to comp properties. It's going to be sick. You're going to love it. But my whole goal about doing this is to help you get results. And the results are getting check in your pocket as fast as humanly possible. Okay. So now let's get into it. I'm going to take you into a site. Okay. And this site allows you to pull a list of people that are in tax default and are in pre-foreclosure. So what is tax default? A tax default is where a seller has not paid their property taxes. Now, what was it? What part of distress does that fall in? That falls in financial distress, doesn't it? So that falls in financial distress. So a property owner that has not paid their property taxes. Now, the other part of that is the property is in pre-foreclosure. What does that mean? That means that they have not paid the bank. They have not paid their mortgage for a length of time, typically 3 to 6 months. And what happens is now it's notice where the bank is going to auction their house off so for the mortgage to investors, and they typically do it at attorneys' offices or down what's called the courthouse steps. So there'll be a bunch of guys down there, investors, and they're going to go down the courthouse steps. And what happens is the bank's going to come out with what's called a trustee is going to come out with an opening bid. And the opening bid is typically going to be the mortgage, maybe more or less than that, whatever the value of the property is. But the bottom line is that you have the ability to be able to contract the house before it goes to that auction date. Now, it's different for all across. Sometimes auction dates are 60 days. Sometimes auction dates are 90 days. Sometimes they're longer. Sometimes they're shorter. Depends on the state you're in. The bottom line is there's typically a window, right, where you have the ability to talk to the seller, get a property under contract, and then be able to turn around and sell it. We just closed on a deal. What's today? Today is Friday, right? Yeah, we just closed on a deal on Monday, right? And I actually was out of town. I was on a Disney cruise down at the Bahamas, but and I just got back on late Tuesday night. But we closed our deal on Monday. Property is worth $250,000. We got it under contract for $94,000. Turned around and sold it for $140,000. Right, 130. I think it was like $133,000. Needed some work. In a matter of 7 days. So we made roughly about $30,000. Right, roughly $30,000 after we paid closing costs and fees. In a matter of 7 days, from a seller that was about to lose her house on June 9th. Right, I came back June 8th or June 9th. I was in the office on June 10th, and we closed it that Monday, a couple days prior, before the seller lost their house, and we're able to save their credit. We got them some cash, and we made $30,000. Now we have a fix and flip investor that's now going to use that property to fix it up and turn around and sell it. So those are very hot leads. So I'm going to take you into a list right now. Let me get this. Now I'm going to do this holding it while I'm talking to you. So here, okay. So there's the list coming. It's called Rebo Gateway. Rebo Gateway. And what happens is you can purchase counties, right? Here's Maricopa. There's Clark County, Nevada, Maricopa, right? So you can purchase counties, right? And then you can select cities in Maricopa County. And you can select lead type. Now check all these lead types out, right? We got divorce. Now, is that a circumstance? Yep. Empty nesters, for sale by owners, right here. New REOs, non-owner occupant out of state, notice of default, notice of sale, right? Tax default, right? So we're going to do tax default. We're going to select a city. Let's call it Phoenix. Phoenix, right? Maricopa, Arizona. And we're going to do a search right here. So what it does, it searches, if you can see that. Searching. Searching slow. Come on. Come on. Oh, it's taking forever to search. What's the deal? All right, I'm impatient. I'm going to refresh the page. Maybe I screwed it up. Okay, Maricopa. Let's go down to Phoenix. Lead type, we're going to go tax default, filter. Let me. I'm going to reset the filter. Submit. Okay, and then we're gonna redo the filter, and we're gonna do search. Different guy with a thumb up. Why is the site being so slow? Okay, here we go. So it's showing, if you can see that number, 6,782. It's tax default in Phoenix, okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to go to the filter option right here. And I'm going to go down to here, and it's going to give us some different options, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put only notice a default, only notice a sale, right there, right? And I'm going to put submit. So now what it's going to do is only going to give me tax default with that are right here. Now it's going to go down to 794. So it's a very small list. Now these leads right here, so they're in tax default right here, and it gives you all the information. Tax default, all the information about the seller, property address, everything. So this right here, and now you can go in and you can even filter for purchase date. So you can go, when did the seller purchase? So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to go 01/01/1900, right? To 12-31-2005. So, and I'm going to go submit. So now what I'm doing is that I'm pulling all the properties where the property was purchased, the seller purchased it back 2005 and below, and it's going to take that list to 797, and it's going to make it even smaller. Okay, it's going to make that list even smaller. Now you could mail that 797, but now look where we're down. 324 total. We got tax default. So these are people that have been paying on their mortgage for the past 10 years. Okay, so there's only 324. Now, this right here, check this out. This is, look at that. So this right here, it says, right here is notice of default, right? There's a public notice of default right there. It's in tax default. It gives us all the property information. And what we can do now is we can go in and go Rebo Marketing, and we can export, right? And we can go down here and we can export this list. We can export that. So it's going to export it, a file of 324 names. Now let me tell you, this right here is a super hot list, a very small list. Now, I use other sites like Find Motivated Sellers Now. Great site, vacant properties. You find a slew of that. So if you want a huge list, right, do you want to target a very hot, Find Motivated Sellers is a great site. I use it every single month of my business. If you want to find a very targeted, specific niche, think about this. Tax default, they haven't paid their taxes. They've had 10 years paying on their mortgage, so they have equity. And they're in pre-foreclosure. They're about to lose their house. That is a super hot list. Hot list on fire. And guess what? You can mail that list, and there is a good chance that you will get calls from sellers that want to sell their house fast for cash at a discount. They don't have time to list it with a realtor. They don't have to wait. Our days on market here in Phoenix is 121 days, right? Average list to close price is about 94%. So if you list a house for $100,000, you're getting a $94,000 close price, okay? And 121 days. So if someone has a tax default, and also they have a pre-foreclosure, and their house is to go to auction in a matter of a week or 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, they don't have time to list it, fix it up, get everything ready, put it on the MLS, and get it sold by the time on our typical days on market. So this, again, guys, let's see, is a super hot list. So these are people you can target immediately, which is absolutely phenomenal. Okay, you can get your phone to ring with sellers that are motivated. Okay, so what do we do with the list? Now we have a list, right? Now think about this. We're going to see, and this whole training is 4-part series. We're going to learn how to target. I'm going to show you how to talk to them, what to say to them. I'm going to give you a script. I'm going to give you the contracts that you can use for that. It's going to be ridiculous, right? So now you can have people call you. So now we take this list, and I'm going to show you another site, which is my mail house. And you can send these sellers the same letter or postcard that I send myself. Postcards are about 39 cents a piece to send. Letters I send are roughly 80 to 90 cents a piece. Right? So, there's my calculator. I was looking for my calculator, but I'm looking at it, right? Because it's my phone. Anyways, so the bottom line is, let's get into now, you've got the list. So you guys all clear with that? You guys all clear with the list? Cool with the list, cool with the list, cool with the list? Okay. Perfect. So you guys got the list. Now we've got to get it to a mail house that we can send it to. But before we do that, we also have to get a tracking number. So let's go to the mail house first, and I'm going to show you a phone number that you can get for tracking purposes and how we track. Okay. So now I'm going to go to, I'm going to flip you around. So hold on, it's going to. All right. So now here, this is the mail center right here, and there's the domain, gobigprinting.com/flip2freedom. gobigprinting.com/flip2freedom. You guys got that? Can you guys see that okay? Is that good? Okay, so that's that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go right here and we're going to enter. Now you can go here and you can set up a free account. It's free. I made it set up to where you don't have to pay. You can set up a free account. Okay? So now you go in here, and I already set up an account and logged in. So now you go into the back end of this thing, right? Now I go into, see where it says load your mailing list right there? You can load your mailing list. But I'm going to go to the direct mail center right here, which is direct mail. And literally, see, it has right here, Flip2Freedom, has all my letters and postcards that we use. And here's our investor letter that we use. Here's a generic yellow letter. And if I go here, I go to postcard. Here's our postcard that we use, right? I know it's hard to read, but you can sign in for free. Here's another one. We've been trying to reach you. This card is great. Okay. Now, it works great to a good list. Right? You have to get a good list. So let's say if I was going to go in here and I'm going to order this card right here. I can go order. Press the order button. Right here, you can put your information. So I got right here, let's say if your information, for example, 123 Main Street, blah, blah, blah. You even can pick the color. I'm going to do yellow. Let's do pink. Right? Let's do a pink postcard. Right? Test it out. Here's the testimonial information. There's testimonial in here you can modify, right? Florida, right there. There's the testimonial. You can put that in there, right? Now, here's the important part. See that thing that says phone number? That's the phone number they're going to call. That's the phone number they're going to call. So you have to have a phone number, which we'll talk about here in a second, so you can track how many calls come from your Rebo Gateway mailing, right? We're using this specific postcard, so you can track the calls that come in on that. Okay. So now you name the thing, right? You call it, say, test. Let's call it Terry, and then you go continue, and look at select the list, right? So now you've imported a list. You import a list, and guess what? Now you're set to where, boom, you select your list. You import it, you approve it, and it will go out within 5 to 7 days. Okay, you're out. Now your mailing is out 5 to 7 days. Okay, now your phone is going to start ringing with highly motivated sellers. This is where it starts to get scary. You're going to start freaking out because you're going to be like, holy cow, the phone's going to start ringing, and you're going to be going, oh my gosh, what do I say? What do I do? Holy cow, the phone's melting off the hook, right? And you're going, and you're going to start freaking out. That's okay. It's okay. Just calm down. We'll get there, right? So I'm going to give you a script on what to say to these sellers. Now, the first thing we want to do now is we want to make sure that we have a phone number we can track. Now, check this out. I'm going to take you to my phone system here. Okay? Now, the phone, I'm going to go right here. I'm going to go, show you the company first, and I'll take you inside it. Okay. I'm going to switch over. Okay, so there is that, and it is CallRail. It's a great, great service, right? And there's the domain for you guys right there, callrail.com, callrail.com. Yeah, it's Go Big Printing, Go Big Printing at Go Big Printing. Okay, so that's callrail.com. Okay, and what CallRail does, I'm going to take you actually into my CallRail account, and there it is. Right now, the cool thing is you can track all your calls by different sources. We started using this in December. It's been phenomenal. But you can go over here and you can do like a report, calls by source. And these are all the calls by source, right? So here's our different sources right here. These are different, the numbers, right? Calls in right here. So here's like April tax default right here, April tax default. We sent about 10,000 letters. We got 81 calls off that one. There's January non-owner occupant inheritance probate. Got about 54 calls on that one. Here's February. Here's the April no data list that we hit. That one we got about 177 calls. On that one we sent about 15,000 of those. So this is a way to be able to get a number. Now, I'm going to go back up to calls. I'm going to go to add number, all numbers. So these are all our different numbers, and we can have them all marked right here by different sources that we mail. Okay, now I'm going to go add number, and it gives you a couple different options to add a number, right? You say, I want to use it online, I want to use it offline. So we want to use it offline, and then you can put a source name, so we're going to call it test, right? Destination number, 623-555-1212, okay, for test number. And then we're going to go down here. So what do I get? I put source, test, information. I'm going to go down here to select. And now we can go in and there's a toll-free number, and we can go change area code, right? So let's say I'm going to do 623 right here. I'm going to change. Now look what it's going to do. It's going to give me phone numbers, right? So I can go through and pick the best one. So which one sounds good? Which sounds good to us? This one right here does 623-227-0802, right? 0803. 0807, 0813. So let's say if we wanted to pick this one, and I go to next option. Now you can say whisper message, and then you say activate tracking number. Once you activate that number, your call right there is now live. Your call is live. You can use that phone number. So that number, I'm going to go back here. Let's call it to 623-227-0802. We can use that, right? We can use that on our card. That's where we're going to put it, right here. We're going to put the card. So now when calls come in, we're able to track it. And I'm going to click out of this over here right now. We can track it and see how many calls that we get that come in. And you can send them to a voicemail, or you can actually have it call in and then push to your, you can have it pushed to your cell phone if you want. Now, if you're sending 300 letters, take the calls live. Okay, if you're sending 15,000 letters, 10,000 letters, 20,000 letters like we're doing, then guess what? I have a full-time person on staff, and all they do is answer the phone from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, live, and we have an off-hours person that answers live as well from 5:01 to 8 o'clock, Monday through Friday, and Saturdays all afternoon. That's another person that answers live. Why? Because I believe in answering live instead of going to a voicemail. So if some of you guys right now are sending it to a voicemail, try to send it live. But if you're only going to be sending out 300, 200, 150, whatever the number is you find on Rebo Gateway, and you're going to mail those, try to get those live, because what you're going to do is then book an appointment. Okay? That's what you want to do, is book an appointment. We're going to talk about that in a second. All right, so if some of you guys are joining and you want to know how to win the $1,000 cash, let's get to that real quick, and then I'm going to get into the script and some free stuff. But that's the $1,000 entry rules. So first, you're going to follow me on Periscope. Okay, $1,000 entry rules. I'm giving away $1,000 cash. I'm doing a 4-part series. This is part 1. I got three more left. Then I'm going to bring you through the entire process to get $5,000. Flipping houses the next 30 days. So follow me on Periscope. Share the broadcast. Now, how you share the broadcast on iPhone? You swipe to the right, and you're going to click the share button, and that will share the broadcast. And if you're on Android, swipe up, and then you can share the broadcast. And then post on Twitter using the hashtag Flip2Freedom, Flip2Freedom. Okay, and what that will do is we will take all the people that post on Twitter with the hashtag Flip2Freedom. What we're going to do is look for those, and then we're going to see if they shared, and then they're followed on Periscope, and they will go into a pool, and I will pick one person that will win $1,000 cash, which will be cool. Okay, so now back to some cool. Okay, so now the next question is, right? So we've found our target list of motivated sellers. We found them. They're in tax default. They're in pre-foreclosure. There is a financial distress, and they'd be motivated to sell their house. Otherwise, they're going to lose it. Now, they don't want to lose their house. They want to save their credit, just like the deal we just recently done. So the bottom line is they're highly, highly motivated. It's a great list for you to target. So while we've got a list, and I showed you the mail center at gobigprinting.com/Flip2Freedom, where you can upload your list, and you can use the mail pieces that I use in my business. Okay, that we get calls, that we generate calls from. I also gave you the phone tracking system that we use, that you can have them either answer live, or you can have it go to a voicemail. If you're working a job 9 to 5, have it go to voicemail. Just what I want you to do is cut through all the, because there's people on the line right now that have to get all their ducks in a row. I got to get all my ducks in a row. Well, listen, forget the ducks. Shoot the ducks. You don't need any ducks. The bottom line is do exactly what I'm telling you. Get your list. Get your phone number. And then mail. Send the mail ASAP. You're going to get calls in from motivated sellers. The next step is, what do you say when they call in? Okay, let's talk about that. All right, here you go. It's what's called my simple strategic seller script, okay? And I'm going to essentially read it to you, but then I'm going to give it to you. So it says, hi, seller name, this is Sean. I got your voicemail calls sent from the postcard, a letter regarding the house address on so-and-so. I catch you in a good time. If no, would it be a good time for us to talk for a couple minutes? If yes, perfect. How you doing today? Listen for an opportunity to build a rapport. The biggest thing what you want to do is on this script, and I'm so you can. So I'm going to give you a place where you can download it for free. But the bottom line is when you're talking to a seller, is that you want to build a level of rapport. Because here's the deal: people do business with people that they like and trust. Okay? If you like them and you trust them, then you're going to do business with them. If you like and trust them, so people go, well, how do I be there if there's competition, or what if someone else is mailing the? I don't care. If they like and trust you, right, they'll do business with you. So the bottom line about this list is you're looking for opportunities to build rapport, right? Can you tell me about your property that you're looking to sell? And don't interrupt them. Let them talk. Let them talk about the property. I always go, Mr. Sarah, what's your situation? How can we help you out? And they go, oh my gosh, I had this rental property, and the tenant trashed it, and then I just da 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 da. And they go on with the story. Don't interrupt them. Listen. right? Have you ever been had a conversation with someone, and I've done this recently, where you sit down with a conversation, you ask a couple questions. And actually, I was talking to a motivated seller. Asked a couple questions, and they're like, and just talked about, and this girl was talking about all about her divorce and her situation and what happened in the house, and what, and he left her with no money, and all this whole entire, all this stuff that's real stuff. And there's two types of people. There's some people that kind of look at them, and they're thinking about what they're going to say next, so they're not even paying attention and listening. Okay? Or have you ever talked to your husband or wife, and you're sitting there, you're having a conversation, and ladies, that they're not listening, right? You're not even listening, right? Because guess what? They're thinking about something else. You're thinking about something else, and you're not present in the conversation, in the relationship. People can tell. You realize that? People can tell if you're not present in that situation. They can tell that you're and I've done it with my wife, not all the time. No, I'm just kidding. I did a lot more than I should. I mean, because my brain is like moving 100 miles an hour. So when she's telling me all about this stuff, I really have to consciously shut it down and focus on her, on being present. And we want to do that the exact same way when we are talking to a seller, and we want to be able to build a rapport. Now, the interesting thing is, after, I sat down with this motivated seller and they told me all about the situation, they go, "Oh my gosh, I feel like I've known you forever." Okay? Now, I said 5 words. She talked for an hour. I asked a couple questions. Really, I was interested. I was sincerely interested. You know what sincere means? Sincere is you truly care about the other person and what they're doing in their situation. I was sincerely interested in her and her situation, and she felt it. She felt the situation. She felt it. So what happens is she felt like she knew me. And if she felt like she's known me forever, what's the chances of another competitor coming in and being able to get that deal? Why? Because I built such a level of trust or respect and rapport with her just by listening to her and asking her questions. So I guess the bottom line, what I'm trying to say is, remember, you're dealing with a real person. There is someone on the other end of that phone. There's someone that's in a situation. They might be divorced. They're in a foreclosure. They're in tax default. They're in a situation. And our job is to help them in a way to solve that problem in a timely fashion that's a win for them, and it's a win for you. It's a win-win all the way around. Now, listen, there are some deals that I know through my negotiation skills I could have made a killing on that I didn't. Why? Because there's ethics. I mean, you have to face God someday, and you're going to have to stand up there and go, yeah, I took advantage of this little old lady, and it was her last dime, and she made $3,000, I made $100,000, and and I took advantage of her. You got to use some of your ethical judgment and realize that you're dealing with a real person and doing that. But you are providing them a service, and you should get paid for that service by acting quickly, by basically working with them in a situation, finding a solution, getting that property under contract, and able to find a buyer, a cash buyer or landlord that's going to fix that property up and sell it. Or, if you do fix and flip yourself, fix it up yourself. So you keep on going. You're trying to find out about the property, the mortgage, see if they have any mortgage. And basically what we say is, first off, we look for properties that fit a specific criteria that we can renovate and resell for profit, if it makes sense, or we purchase it as a rental, or we turn around and resell it quickly. Okay? So you're basically telling, we're the business, we're investors in the business of making money. Okay, that's what we're doing with investors. So they know you're not going to come in and you're going to live there. You're not going to live there and live there retail. So there are 3 key benefits when you sell to us. 1, we pay cash. We buy properties in as-is condition, so you don't have to spend unnecessary money fixing up the property. This could save you thousands of dollars depending on your condition. Number 2, we can close on your time frame. This way you have a guaranteed price and a guaranteed close date. Now you're not guessing, and you can make future plans. Now here's the deal. Listing with a real estate agent, right? If someone is in a motivated situation where they have to move quickly and they need to get stuff done quick, guess what? If you're listing with a real estate agent, there is no guaranteed price. And there is no guaranteed close time frame. Now, for someone that has a less urgent situation, like 95% of the population, they can put it up at a higher price and put it on the market and try to fish for that higher price offer. And that makes total sense. What would I do if my own property? Well, guess what? I don't have an urgent situation, so I can turn around and I would list it with a real estate agent because there's value in listing with a real estate agent. There's also value in selling quickly to an investor like us. So what we can offer them is a guaranteed close date. Here's your close date we can close, and a price so they don't have to guess. Okay. Number 3 benefit of working with us, you also save thousands of dollars by not paying commissions or closing costs. Most commissions are 6% or higher, and closing costs as much as high as 3%. So you get to save. They don't have to deal with paying real estate commissions and closing costs. A lot of people are in situations where their houses are trashed, or a tenant trashed it, or they're a hoarder house or whatever. And the bottom line is now they have to fix up the property. They have to get it cleaned. Then they have to put it on the market at a lower discount price because it's not up to 2015 standards, and on top of that, they're going to have to pay real estate commissions and closing costs. They're going to have to deal with BINSR, buyer inspection seller reports, where a buyer's going to come in, nitpick the place with an inspector, and ask them to fix all this stuff. They don't want to do that. They want to sell quickly and get this sucker done. So now what's happening is through the rest of the script. Now, we also have on here the different distress points. So we got financial distress. So you're listening on this script for this information. You're listening for this information, okay? So you want to know that, okay? Now also, too, this is financial distress, physical distress. There you go. Property's boarded up, code violation, fire damage, trash rental. And then you're looking for circumstantial distress. So you're listening for this information while you're talking to the seller. And when you do that, right, what happens is now you can determine. Now, what is the action you want to take when you're talking to the seller? The number 1 action that you can take while talking to the seller. You know? Tell me. What's the number 1 action you can take? You can type in, guys. What is the number 1 action? Book an appointment. Bingo! You nailed it on the head. I can't read that because I'm 45 and I need glasses. You got it. Bingo. Book an appointment. You got it. You want to book an appointment because now think of the mentality of this person that we're mailing. They haven't paid their taxes on their house. Okay. So they're obviously a procrastinator. They haven't paid their mortgage on their house. So obviously they're a procrastinator, or there's a situation. So do you think they're going to be massively efficient and turn around and call a huge list of investors to try to get the best price? Probably not. What they're going to do is they have on the little checklist, they have their to-do list, just like everybody else does. One of them is get a job. Next one is sell the house, need cash. Next one is boom. So what are they going to do? Right? Or get milk or, take the dog to the groomers, whatever, not the groomers, but whatever. So they're going to have their list. So as soon as they're done with you, right, they're going to be like, okay, called, they booked an appointment, done. Boom, they're check off the list. And what do? Break out a cocktail, happy hour, or they're going to get their bong out and they're going to take a big old bong hit, right? Who knows? Situations. the bottom line is they're not the most motivated or efficient person, so they're not going to call. All they want to do is go. They want to check it off their list. So they're going to talk to you, right? They're going to book the appointment with you, and they're going to be done for the day. Yeah, we did it, right? Boom, they booked the appointment. They're psyched. And now it's off, and they're back to doing whatever they're doing. So you want to book that appointment. Now, once you book that appointment, then you're good to go. All right, so I'm going to show you where you can download. Let me fix my screen here. I'm going to show you where you can download the contract and the script for free. I'm going to turn you guys around. Okay, so there you go. Make sure you put the www dot in front. It's www.flip2freedom.com/free stuff. www.com/free stuff. www.flip2freedom.com/free stuff. If you got that. And you just hit a page like this, download the free stuff, and you just get instant access, and you will download that for free. You guys got that? www.com/free stuff. And you go here. You guys got that okay? Let me show it to you again. Got it? Okay, got it. Cool. Flip2Freedom, free stuff. Okay, so you can whoops. Around. All right, so you can download that for free in the script, okay? Now, here's one last thing I want to tell you. And then next episode, or next part 2, we are going to talk about, now that you've booked the appointment, what happens next. I'm going to talk about what to bring on the appointment, okay? Your little folder. I'm going to talk about how to comp the property. I'm going to give you a cool comp calculator I created so that you can use to comp out the property fairly quickly. And then I'm going to talk about what to do prior to the appointment before meeting the seller, and then actual meeting the seller and negotiating to get the contract signed. So what I want you to do, and download that AB. This is the contract you're going to use, the AB contract, and that's the BC when selling. But I want you to review the seller script right there, and you can get this at flip2freedom.com/free stuff. But what I want you to do is take that AB contract and review it, if you could. Review it, and you can kind of understand it. But do that for sure, because it's so you feel comfortable and you're reading it, and then if you have questions like that, I can help you through it. So the bottom line is that now we're going to go in and we're going to talk about actually negotiating what to do from now on. So from now, you go in the appointment to actually negotiating to get the contract. So exactly what happens next, so that's your goal next, is to figure out how to get that contract signed. We're going to talk about negotiation techniques, what you can do for closing, okay? Closing questions, how to get the deal signed, how to overcome objections. Those are all incredibly important things. Then once you understand, right, how to do that, now you have your first contract. You're excited. Boom, right? You're ecstatic, I'm telling you. Once you get your first contract and you have a $200,000 house, you get under a contract for $125,000, you will be ecstatic. You're excited, okay? Same thing happens. It's awesome. Can you go to Rebo Gateway and show how you would get a non... Here, let me show you real quick. And then I got to give you the contact for Rebo Gateway. So Rebo Gateway, let me flip it around. Rebo Gateway, you go here, filter, and see right here, owner, occupant, absentee owner. So you deselect, and then you'd submit. And it goes back to her, and then we wait. So that's all you do.
Okay.
So that's all you do. You go there and you submit. And that's how you get non-owner occupants, or you get actual occupants, which are cool. Now, you should get both. I would. I mean, it's going to be a very small list, so I would definitely say to get both. Both, anyways. So the bottom line is that that's what we're going to go through the next step. But here's the thing. I want to talk about real quick on the difference factor it makes between someone that takes this information and gets results and someone that doesn't, okay? And what I call it's the point of greatness, okay? It's the point. It's that one point, and it's in you, it's in me, it's in everybody, right? And the bottom line is it's that point that will change everything. And what that point is basically when you take an action based upon an expectation, right? And something either works or doesn't work in your favor. And let's say it doesn't work. Now, the best thing I could say is like LeBron James. LeBron James in Game 2, close to the end of the game, there's a matter of minutes left, anywhere from 5 to 7 minutes left. And you can see that he completely took control of that game, right? I think it was maybe either Game 2 or Game 3 where they won. And I know they lost last night. So, but the bottom line is he completely took control. And he gave the ball, and he was in there, he was making shots, and the guy scored 40 points. It was insane, right? Crazy. So what happened in him was something switched. And he made a decision. Either A, I'm going to perform at, I'm not going to give it 100%. I'm not going to give it my all. Or I'm going to get mad and I'm going to make it happen. He's made a decision to get mad to make it happen, right? To go out and get success and result. I saw it with Serena Williams the other day when she won the Open. I can't remember what classic or Open she was playing in. But the bottom line is, and I don't know if it was that one or another one I was watching, but holy cow, she came in and she was down at it was like match set point, and she came out and she went over the top and she won the entire thing. She made a decision. That's the point of greatness. You either can make a decision, right, when adversity hits, to either A, submit to adversity, submit to obstacles, submit to whatever, right? And you're going to continue to get what you've always got. Or you can make a decision to say, you know what? I am going to make this happen. I don't care what it takes. I'm going to do it no matter what. So I want to tell you this because you know what? There is something called karmic debt. What is karmic debt? Karmic debt is the things that we have done in the past, whether they be good or bad, will come back to us in a certain way, right? There's karmic debt. So why can someone go out and mail 300, 400, 500 postcards, 1,000 postcards, and they don't get a deal? Might be karmic debt. Have you ever heard what you reap, right? What you sow, what you reap, right? Sow means is what you get. Reap is mean what you do. So maybe you have not is it reaped? I don't know if that's a word or not, but whatever. The bottom line is that you're going to, what you get is determined by what you give. Okay? So what happens is that there might be a situation where you might send out 300, 500, 1,000 postcards, and you might get no deal, right? And maybe you're paying some karmic debt. And then some people, I've sent out, they sent out, 25 postcards, I was just talking to, we had a meetup group here the other night on Wednesday, and this girl's daughter sent out 2 letters. 2! Got 1 deal under contract and turned around, sold it, and made $20,000. That girl has some good karmic debt, right? So what happens is you got to look at it and saying, hey, what have you given to the universe, right? What have you given? And the bottom line is the more you give. Read the book, The Go-Giver. The Go-Giver is a phenomenal book. If you really want to understand it's called the seven stratospheric laws of success. And one of the stratospheric laws is your success and your income is predicated upon the amount of value that you give to other people. So what value have you given to other people? What value have you put in other people's lives? Okay? And then look at the results you have in your life. If you're struggling, if you're just getting by, you're living month to month and things suck, blah, 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 start giving. Giving where you are, whatever it might be. The bottom line is that there is a point of greatness, right? And that point of greatness is a decision to either A, accept defeat, either A, accept the expectation, maybe I'm going to send out, and I'm going to get a deal, I'm going to make 20 grand. Maybe you click calls in, you get nothing, right? So whatever that expectation is, and you go, well, I'm just going to quit. I tried that thing and it didn't work. You know how many people I've talked to? I've tried the real estate thing and that just doesn't work. Hey, it works for me, it works for, here, let me show you something. To Flip2Freedom.com. Right? Go to Flip2Freedom.com, right there. Oops. Go to Flip2Freedom.com and go to Success Stories, right here. Look at all those success stories. And these are all people, right here. All people that submitted their videos that didn't think they could do it, but kept moving forward, made a decision, worked their way through obstacles, and got results. It just keeps on going. I could go and 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 go. The bottom line is, this is what I want to tell you. This is what I want to tell you. It's the most important thing. If they can do it, and if I can do it, you can do it. Okay? There is nothing different about me. There's nothing different about any of these other people other than this one key point. We made a decision to never, ever quit. We made a decision to never, ever give up. We made a decision that we're going to do this no matter what, whatever it takes. So you're wondering, and you look at this and, you know what? If I would have continued with a penny stock and really I probably could have done it. If I would have continued with the commodities trading, I probably could have done it. But guess what? I had an expectation. I'm going to make $1 million trading commodities. I'm going to buy gold, and it didn't work, and I lost money. I go, oh, those commodity things don't work. And I quit. But there are people that make millions of dollars trading penny stocks. There's people that make millions of dollars trading commodities. I chose to quit. And I didn't do it. With real estate, I love real estate. I'm glad I did quit commodities because I love real estate. The bottom line is that you're in a situation where you're going to attempt, or maybe you have attempted. Maybe you sent out 1,000 postcards, or maybe you sent out 500 postcards or whatever. You may have got huge results or not a lot of results. I don't know. The bottom line is you're in a situation where you can either quit and it will be the biggest mistake of your life, or you can, find a way, dig deep. If other people can do it. Listen, guys, I don't have a college education. I spent 4 years in the United States Marine Corps. I'm not the smartest tool in the shed, right? At all. I was a CD student in high school. I was just an average football player. Couldn't play football. I was just getting by. I was just everything, average. But the bottom line is, you know what? Is that I finally figured it out because I had to. I had a 1-year-old daughter, right? I was living month to month and I was broke. And I got so mad, and I happened to come across the book Think and Grow Rich. And I listened to that, and there was a point in there where Napoleon Hill talked about Winston Churchill on never, ever, ever give up. My first deal, I made $11,008. And because I went out there, and I was taught to knock on pre-foreclosure doors. That's what I was taught. Go knock on pre-foreclosure doors. So I went out. It was in May. It was hot here in Phoenix. And I went out and knocked on pre-foreclosure doors. The first door I knocked on, I drove by the house 4 or 5 times, cased the joint, because I was so afraid. Now, guys, I spent 4 years in the Marine Corps, right? I went out and I went to war, and I was afraid to knock on this guy's door. So I'm sitting there, I'm driving up and down the street, looking at it, kind of checking it out, and stuff like that. There was a gigantic truck that was sitting right, not in the driveway, but on the grass. There was no grass because it was all dirt because water's grass. But in the front drive, this big knobby, huge truck with the big knobby tires on there with their lifts and stuff like that. It was sitting parked in the front yard, right? I had to walk around it to get to the front door. But I'm sitting there, right? And I parked at the end of the street. And I go, okay, I can do this. This is the first deal I knocked on, right? And I walked up to the house. And it was just a screen door, and the other door was open, and I kind of banged on it. I don't know how it must have been hot as whatever. But I turned around, right, and the guy came, I knocked on the door, and the guy came to the door, and he was about 6'4". He had like a shaved head, and he had this tank top on with hair all sticking out, and he was all sweaty and like sticky, and he goes, "What do you want?" I'm stood there, right? Prior U.S. Marine, right? Stood there, a family, a kid, 30, I was like 33 years old. Standing there. I'm like going, my tongue swelled up like a balloon. I was like, what? I was trying to say, hey, I wanted to see if I could help you with your house before it goes to auction next couple days or next couple weeks, whatever. And I couldn't spit it out of my mouth. I couldn't spit it out. And I turned around and I hightailed it back to my car. And I remember I closed the door of the car. I was sweating bullets. I was like, holy cow. And I go, holy cow, I am a moron. I was like, what am I doing? I can't do this. There is no way that I can go knock on 5, 10, 15, 20 doors a day to try to find sales. There's no way I can do it. And inside me at that point, I had a decision. My head was saying quit. My heart said keep going. And I turned on the car, get the air on, and Napoleon Hill came on at that time. And there was the message where he talked about Winston Churchill, never, ever, ever quit. And at that point, I made a decision. I made a decision that, you know what? I don't care whatever it takes. I'm going to make this happen. I don't care. Whatever it takes. I'm going to lay it all on the line. I don't care if I have to knock on every single door until my knuckles are bloody, and I do it after my job and I do it during weekends. I am going to make this work. And as soon as I made that decision, the universe shifted. And I went out and I got my first deal. And I made $11,008. And that changed my life. That was in May of 2013. Or 2000, when was it? 2003. May, that's 33, 2003. And the rest of that year, till December, I made $134,000. And I'm telling you, that changed my life. If you're in a situation right now and you're trying to figure out what to do, and maybe you've tried this, or maybe you've done some deals, or maybe you've done this, or maybe you've done that, or whatever, you know what? This is it. This real estate, you can take it from flipping houses to fix and flipping houses. You can take it from, I just got off the phone with one of the coaching students, and he's going now into new construction. You can do that. So the bottom line is you have what it takes. You can make this work. You can make this work. There's no reason why you can't do it. Someone asked the question is when you get an LLC, don't worry about an LLC until you get your first deal. Once you get your first deal, then go out and get an LLC, spend $350 and then go ahead and do it. But don't do it. You don't need to go get an LLC right now. So, any questions? Ghost ad in your local paper and call people and put out and buy homes. Yeah. That's, I mean, if you drive around and you see people that say we buy houses. Okay, good question. What happens if you can't sell the house, right? Here's the thing. If you get a smoking deal on a house, right, then it's going to sell. Buyers are going to line up to get it. But if, for some reason, you get a house and it's a marginal deal, you can't sell it, there's a couple things you can do. Number one is if you had any potential buyers interested in the property, then what you do is you then solicit offers from them. So let's say theoretically you have it under contract for $100,000, right? And then you've been putting it out for $110,000, and you can't get any buyers, right? That's going to come up for $110,000 and buy it. So you solicit an offer from a buyer, and a buyer says, "Listen, the max we can pay for this thing is $95,000." You go back to the seller and say, "Listen, you know what? I've tried at this. I tried with my funding partners." Based upon the market, based upon the condition of the property, based upon the repairs of the property, based upon the roofing and the AC and the 2-inch baseboards, we have to renovate all that. Based upon all that, Mr. Seller, right? Our numbers are coming back that we have to be at $90,000. If you can do $90,000, we can get it closed by next Friday. If you can't, I'm sorry that we're going to have to back out of the deal because the numbers just don't work for us. So what's going to happen, it's going to put the seller in a situation where, hey, we got to make it work. So you got a contract at 95, now you get 90, now you can pull $5,000 out of the deal. The seller still gets the property sold, but they get it sold at more of a reasonable price for market. Because if you put it out to the market and have all these buyers that don't want it at that price, then there's definitely issues there. So you can renegotiate the price with the seller. That is the absolute best way to do it. But first, you want to solicit from the seller. I'm an aspiring investor in Phoenix. Have you ever done any co-wholesale? Oh, yeah, co-wholesale deals all the time. If you're in Phoenix, for sure, go to meetup.com and join our meetup. We just had one last Wednesday, but we partner with deals. I got a list of 34,000 buyers. You go out and find the deals, and we can work together, and we'll split deals 50-50. Rebuild Gateway, not available in Colorado. Alternative. Go to Find Motivated Sellers Now. Find Motivated Sellers Now. That is the for a larger list, it's the best list. Okay, Find Motivated Sellers Now. But you can go to meetup.com and search Flip2Freedom or Sean Terry or whatever, and you can find it. What if the house has liens? That's okay. It doesn't matter. You're gonna do the purchase price for the property. You're going to do so if the purchase price is 93 and let's say the purchase price is 90 and you're selling it to a cash buyer for 100, well, the cash buyer is going to come in with 100,000, of which 10,000 goes to you, 90,000 goes to the seller, but they're going to pay off all the liens on the property. Let's say there's a $70,000 worth of liens, which is a mortgage and maybe a tax lien or maybe a whatever lien. So they're going to pay 70,000 of that 90 is going to go to the liens, and the other 20,000 is going to go to the seller. How do you feel about real estate agents outside of your local market, like investing? How do I feel about real estate agents? Real estate agents are great. I work with real estate agents all day long. They're awesome. Definitely. I'm trying to get the capital for my own. Well, here's the thing. This is a great question. If you're trying to get capital for your own flips, do these deals. Turn around and do a deal, make 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, do flips, and what you do is save your cash, right? And what happens, you're going to save your cash where then you can turn and reinvest it back into doing fix and flips. I've done hundreds and hundreds of fix and flip deals, right? Now, I choose not to do fix and flips now because I choose to do the lifestyle business. I'd rather run a company that's wholesaling properties than do fix and flips. But is an element of my business I do fix and flips, yes. Okay, so that is you can definitely do that, but use wholesaling to generate that. Yeah, it's Find Motivated Sellers Now, findmotivatedsellersnow.com. Search that, findmotivatedsellersnow.com. I missed that one as a business. Ask that question again. How do you flip houses with no money down? I just went through the entire thing. Okay, you're gonna go back and watch the replay. This entire broadcast is all about flipping houses with no money down. Yeah, the entire thing, right? So go back and watch the replay, and I'll show you basically how to do it. What would be a good start in real estate? Wholesaling. What I'm teaching you right now, wholesaling, finding motivated sellers, and doing that is the, oh, you came on late. Okay, so I will go back and watch the replay. This whole entire broadcast is about targeting a specific motivated seller list and getting properties under contract and reselling them. Is there any business that restricts this? No, you can do this all across the entire country. With pre-foreclosure homes, do you transfer? Ask that pre-foreclosure one again, it faded out. What is the process after you put the house on a contract and have a buyer? That's what we're going to talk about. This is step one. We're going to go that in step 2, 3, and 4. I'm going to take you through the rest of the process. Do I work with Cody Sperber? I know Cody Sperber. He's a great friend of mine. Hung out with him. He's a good guy. He's a great guy. I've known him for years. He's a good guy. Love Cody. How do you plan? These questions are coming. Ask another one. The one thing, it's hard to get all these questions. Do you have any tips on finding international buyers? Finding international buyers. One great way to find buyers is cultivate real estate agents that have cash buyers. Okay, because what real estate agents have multiple buyers. Real estate agents cultivate buyers. So if you get one good real estate agent, they might have 10 or 15 buyers that I work with a couple, 2, 3 agents that sell tons of properties. I'm an agent, so that works. Yeah, that works great. Yeah. So find, go in the MLS and find all the real estate agents that have sold properties, right, cash, and then work with those people. Do you transfer reinstatement or any other expenses to pre-foreclosure? With pre-foreclosures, if you were closing the deal, but if the deal actually forecloses, then all the preceding liens are wiped out. So there is nothing that transfers when you close the property and get clean title and transfer it. Nothing transfers. Okay. Do you find people respond to postcards or yellow letters? Yellow letters get a better response than postcards, but postcards, yellow letters are more expensive. So when we mail bulk, like 25, 30, 40, like I just did an order this morning for 40,000 postcards. So 40,000, you can get a larger reach of people. So yellow letters definitely get a better response. Yes. Yeah, there's an email right there from a guy that wants to do JV deals, so that's cool. Is it better to have a, yes. And I'm not an attorney, can't give you tax advice or anything like that. But I use an S Corp. It's a LLC that I designate as an S Corp. Agent in Georgia, perfect. Cool. Okay, so back to the $1,000 giveaway. I just want to make sure everyone understands that. $1,000 giveaway. Here's the entry rules. Follow me on Periscope. Share the broadcast. If you have an iPhone, swipe to the right, and you can share the broadcast. If you're on Twitter, these are 3 things. And you're going to post on Twitter using the hashtag Flip2Freedom. So what's going to happen is we're going to search all the hashtags of Flip2Freedom. We're going to verify that you share the broadcast and then verify that you followed me on Periscope. This is part 1 of part 4. a series that I'm doing. You attend the series, and then out of the people on the fourth part of the series, I'm going to pick one winner, and I'm going to give them $1,000 cash. And they have had to follow the rules, follow me on Periscope, share a broadscope broadcast, and then post on Twitter using hashtag Flip2Freedom. To share the broadcast on each one of the broadcasts, you want to do it as many times as possible. If you do that, then that'd be great. So now, also too, want to give you the contact for Rebo Gateway. You want to call John Harkar, and his phone number, write that down, is 866-887-0206. And he is the personal rep for Rebo Gateway. And it's $3.99 for a county per year for unlimited downloads. So you can download as much as you want. And that is 866-887-0260. Ask for John Harkar. Tell him that Sean Terry referred you, and he'll give you a special deal, okay? He'll give you a special deal that he can't give anybody else. So make sure you tell him that Sean Terry referred you, and you heard it from the broadcast. So it's 866-887-0206, John Harkar, and that's for the Rebo Gateway content. Definitely do that for sure. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. We'll be back for part 2. Stay tuned, and I'll be back for part 2. We'll cover on the next part. We're going to cover, do anything about people in foreclosure own their taxes still? Wow. Yeah, that's what we just talked about. We talked at Rebo Gateway. They're back on taxes and they're in pre-foreclosure. So, see you later, alligator. Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys, for participating. I greatly appreciate it. I'm digging this whole Periscope thing. It seems like we're just like right next door to each other. I gotta stretch my legs, so do that. So, again, thank you guys so much. I greatly appreciate you guys coming out here and being with me on that. So, what is going to happen? I am going to be on the next part. If you want to learn more, go to flip2freedom.com, flip2freedom.com, and you'll be able to go there and download my book for free. Flip2freedom.com, you can download it for free. That'll give you some more information to help you along the way when we talk about more stuff that we're going to talk about. So I will get you guys. Probably the next episode will be on. I'm going to see if I can do it tomorrow, Saturday. I got to check with the wife to see what she's got going on because I know we got a busy day. Just came off a cruise in the Caribbean, had a blast, and but I'm going to see if I can scrape out some time in the day tomorrow to talk to you guys. If not, it will happen on Monday of next week. All right. So I'm going to sign off. Go to flip2freedom.com. Get started. Read the book down there. Otherwise, you can watch the replay on this if you want to watch it. And I appreciate you guys. Have a phenomenal weekend. And take care. And obviously, God bless. I'm going to figure out how to turn this thing off. You got to figure out how to turn it off first, right?